Hey guys, welcome back to the Girlfriends and Goals podcast YouTube channel. My name is Samaria and I'm joined by my best friend and co-host Miosha. And today we're reviewing Married at First Sight, season 17, episode 12. But before we do that, please make sure you are subscribed to the channel. Give this video a thumbs up and meet us in the comments to talk about this episode. All right, so
Mm.
we're going to start with Becca and Austin because there wasn't much on them. At one point, they literally had us watching these people feed their new goldfish. And I was like, this is not good TV.
No, I think the most exciting parts was the photo shoot. That was cute, but
Mhm.
no real takeaways there. And then the sit down with the parents,
Yeah, what
which
did you think?
I don't know. I mean, I can see why it went well because I feel like Becca is a likable person. She has such a fun personality. But I feel like they didn't really get into anything. So that's also why it went well. I think had they started digging more, I think his parents wouldn't have been like, "Oh, great, this is so perfect." It's just like, y'all didn't
Right.
talk about nothing.
And Becca was controlling the conversation, so it wouldn't have gotten to anything that she didn't want it to get to. Like, I doubt that she would bring up anything related to religion since that's their biggest thing.
But she did though with the fish. Did you catch that with the "Oh,
Uh-uh.
we'll baptize the fish" or something? Maybe you skipped that part, or you went to get a drink or something. But yeah, when they were messing with the fish, she said something like, "Oh, maybe we could baptize the fish," and I'm like,
Oh, but that wasn't with the parents, right?
"No, no, 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 no.
Okay.
That was with the fish." Yeah.
I definitely missed it because that part was just so I was like, not them playing with a goldfish, and I'm supposed to watch it. Like, you expect me to watch this and be like, oh, this is so good. I don't care that y'all got it's not even like a pet that has energy.
Right. I wouldn't
Okay.
expect them to get a dog, but yeah, nothing really to report here other than they still need to figure out this whole religion thing. Even the kids thing, I think.
So yeah, there was a lot of conversation about Becca and kids, and I'm like, the last time we heard her talk about it, she wasn't necessarily sold on the idea. So I just thought it was interesting that we're getting a lot of conversation about Becca and kids when is Becca even sure that she wants kids? Also, I said, go ahead and promote your business, Becca, because you might not leave, you might not leave with a husband, but you could leave with a few extra clients, you know? So
Oh, yeah.
I
Yeah,
was
she
here for it.
clearly knows what she's doing, but I don't have anything else there.
Okay.
The mom seems to have come around a bit, but that's because she don't know the real tea.
Okay. There's not much on them. Do you want to go to Michael and Chloe, the new couple? All right.
Yeah,
What do you think of this pairing? Now that we know a little bit more about Chloe, what do you think of this pairing?
I don't know. I mean, Chloe, well, she's 39 years old. She's a nonprofit professional. She seems settled. Something that she kept bringing up was that she used to like to be in control of things. She's a recovering perfectionist.
Hmm.
And I wrote down, "Are you?"
Why?
I don't know. I feel like people sign up for this show and they claim to be delivered from it all. And I mean, I'm ready to see her in practice with him based off of like how she described herself.
Hmm.
Um, I something that I can't who said this? Was it Pastor Cal said power couple? I wrote why.
I feel like Pastor Cal just be saying stuff. All of them, really. All the experts, except maybe Dr. Pia, because, she's new, so she takes her job seriously.
Well, something Dr. Pia said was that she seems desperate for marriage.
Girl, I said, Pia, why would you say that about this woman? Like,
Dr. Pia is maybe keeping it a bit too
for
real.
real?
Because like when keeping it real goes wrong, I don't know. I'm like, this
I
isn't giving me good feelings. Is it? I don't know. Is it that both of them are? We'll call it 40. I don't know if he 39 or 40. I can't.
38.
He's 38. Okay, so call it 40, and they both are just going to be so desperate for marriage that they're going to make it work.
I don't see that because I think they're set in their ways. Maybe there's some flexibility, but when they were talking about, oh, she's very sweet, which she does seem sweet. What I'm concerned about is her rigidity, you know? And I don't know that he's as rigid, which if this were someone who like over time you had gotten to know them, you would maybe be able to they would be able to tear down those walls or uh, adapt or help you adapt, but with it being married at first sight, I don't know that she would want to throw her rigidity, her strictness, her whatever out the window for more flexibility. So that's my concern. She might be not not stuck up, but she might be too maybe regimented for him. I don't know.
Mhm. Well, something that I found interesting
Hmm.
is that based off everything I saw presented about her, nothing gave me that this woman would get married in a pink wedding dress.
And
So that felt very odd, staged. I'm
right,
like, why would she try that on as her first second or third? But nothing about her gave, even when she was like, oh yeah, I made sure my 20s and 30, to do everything right, everything this way or that way. But then you would get
get
married
married
in
in a
pink,
pink dress.
which I don't have an issue with it. Get married in whatever color you want. But based off what I saw about her, even her talking about being minimalist, this is the dress you would try on?
I could see that being staged. I think if it was staged, it was an attempt to get us to see her fun side because he asked for someone silly, and so I think it would be an attempt to get the audience to see, oh well, maybe because that's what it did for me. Before you mentioned it being staged, I'm like, okay, is there another side of her that we're just not seeing? Does she have silliness to her and she just needs somebody to bring that out? So if it was staged, it was for them to get us thinking the way that I was thinking, and they did it for me. I'm so gullible.
I mean, well, you know me, I'm always the conspiracy theorist, so I don't know. I could be wrong, but nothing about her. She has a thing against nightstands or the aesthetic of it. Just, I don't know.
Yeah, that was interesting. I don't care much for this match. Um, how did you feel about them not letting her know that he got left at the altar? Is that a decision you support?
That makes sense.
Yeah, I
I
thought
don't know how her knowing would help at
clear.
this point. I think let her meet him. This is a discussion they should have early on, though. I don't think it should be withheld until they get around the other couples and she finds out in a messy way. But it makes sense that he would have the chance to explain it. The experts will have a chance to explain it. Yeah, that makes sense. But I don't know. Physically, and they both look good, I think. But together, I don't know.
You see it.
Will she find him attractive? Will he find her attractive? I don't know.
What does Michael do for a living? Do we know?
I don't forgot because at the point where we would have got more exposure to him, you know,
He got taken off.
I can't even remember. Y'all can tell us in the comments. What does he do?
We could Google it afterwards. But yeah, that's something to consider. Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, we'll see what happens with them. Uh,
Mhm.
let's go. Let's go, Claire and Cameron, because I think Cameron's manipulative. And you know what this got me thinking? So last week or week before last, when Claire was on the after party, she had a whole bunch of like energy for Cameron. And
Mhm.
in this episode, her what seems like genuine compassion towards him is so different from the near vitriol that she was spewing in the after
Mhm.
party. I'm like, stuff must have gone down in between filming and the after party filming because it just seems like such a switch in her attitude towards him. I
Mhm.
don't know. So this couple was
Yeah.
interesting.
I could get manipulation from him because it's almost like he's like, "Oh, it's not your fault," but without just saying, "No, this just didn't have anything to do with you." So, we'll jump to the part where it's like, "Oh, he has his heart condition." He says, I think he has like the camera in his face, sitting on the stairs or something like that.
My heart
He's
wasn't
like,
gonna go
"Oh,
down.
did the separation From Claire Costas, yeah, yeah, it probably was going to happen at some point, but this just could have accelerated it. Why even say that?
And then when Claire was talking to Dr. Pia, she said, "Oh yeah, Cameron's just saying like, oh, you can help me by not worrying so much." I call BS. I call BS. He is
Given
living
the
for her.
theatrics he was giving, like, oh, my heart rate is at
Yeah,
whatever, and
guess it won't
oh,
go down. Like, boy, if you don't get your, and it sucks because if this is a like if something really is going on, I obviously don't want to be making light of it. But the way that he's presented it and the way that he's presented himself this entire season, it's just like, what are you up to, Cameron?
I do believe he was probably diagnosed with some type of heart condition of some sort.
Hmm.
I think he is putting on.
Do you think he knew about it before the process?
I don't think he knew about it before the process.
Hmm.
I think he could have been diagnosed in real time whenever this was filmed,
Okay.
but I think he's using the theatrics of it all, like, oh, I just found out, and the timing coincides with their separation.
Okay.
Um, One, he's not in the hospital actively. So this is something where they're like, hey, this happened. You'll get treatment in a few weeks.
Well, also, he's like, well, the doctors aren't saying much, but there's an operation scheduled for 2 weeks from now. And I'm like, how are they not saying much when there's an operation scheduled? Like,
Yeah.
I
I
don't know.
think he has something going on, but I don't think that it's as serious as maybe he put on to Claire. I think whatever he told Claire has her very emotional.
He knows her enough to know what things will impact her with her brother who, I he knows what things would impact her. So I'm not
That and
surprised.
him not having the family there to support him and so on and
Yeah.
so forth. Yeah, he
And then I'm
knows.
talking about, oh, well, maybe your family can be. No, they can't. Like after this process, me and my family are packing it up. We not supporting nobody. Like, I'm
Mhm.
sorry. Was there anything else with them?
No, I hope he gets well soon and everything is worked out. I mean, yeah.
Oh, Karen is such a wild card, but okay. Um, well, I got quite a bit on Emily and Brennan. That's probably the only couple that I have a lot to say about
Yeah, this episode didn't give much, so
at all. It's about to be a 20-minute review, y'all. Sorry.
I
But
know.
shameless plug. If this was not enough for you, we have put out two videos this week that are Am I the A-hole reaction videos. So those are always fun to watch. So go ahead and check them out and
Mhm.
comment and let us know what you think about the scenarios. Okay. Emily and Brennan.
Girl, go off.
So the episode starts with Brennan being upset with Emily acting crazy because she showed emotions at the 1 month dinner party. I thought that
What?
was insane. How were you mad? Like, how did you
Just
flip?
to throw her off. Manipulation.
My mind was blown. And she was like, I feel like he doesn't hear me. He be hearing you. He just doesn't care. Like, I just need somebody to scream that at her.
That and okay, you feel a way about how she reacted, which really wasn't even anything over the top to me.
She
She,
stepped out
yeah, she didn't do too much in my opinion, but you decided not to come home.
over that.
If that's what it takes for you to, which I'm happy he didn't. I don't want him around her no way, because I feel like homegirl might be in danger.
Ticking time bomb.
Yeah,
I agree. And then he apparently didn't want her talking to, was it her friend who showed up or his friend?
Lily.
Yeah, he didn't want her. He was like, why are you talking to Lily? Because I can. What do you mean? Why am I talking to Lily? Like, there's enough going on in this process for me that I need. Like, why is he trying to isolate her?
Hmm.
He's in the
You don't want to talk to the girl, and you don't want her to talk to
talk to
nobody else.
nobody else. Excuse
What are these the signs of, y'all? Y'all tell us in the comments. We don't even have to say.
Okay. And she's like with her conversation in her conversation with Lily, because I can see that he has it in him. But it's like, girl, he does not have it in you. And then she talked about how, why is he not able to see that I'm upset? Everybody else could tell that I was more quiet, I was more this. Like, why is he not able to see I'm upset? He could see it, he just don't care.
He's just choosing not to acknowledge it. Yeah, when she said like, "Oh, she thinks that he cares, he just doesn't know how to show it." It's almost like she's what's the word? Infantilizing him, where it's like he's using this reasoning of, "Oh, I don't know how to communicate. I just don't know. I don't know." Almost like he's a child, like he don't know no better.
Mm-hmm.
Man is grown, grown.
She gonna watch this back and realize, no, it's just him. And then when he said he was at his breaking point, girl,
The friend tried though to speak something to her because she asked like, "Why are you still trying? What is going on here?" She hasn't even seen the full scope of what we've seen, but she's already asking, "Why are you still trying?" Emily clearly is in denial. And maybe it goes back to what you were saying before about the lack of relationship experience. I'm not sure, but yeah, she's in denial.
so Dr. Pepper talks to them, and so here's the thing. Brennan is talking about, yeah, we just need a friendship to take the pressure off, and just like maybe enjoy each other. And it made me think of the first, like at the honeymoon, when Emily was like, "Do you know how to have fun?" Does Brennan know how to enjoy himself? Like, I don't, he doesn't strike me as someone who is enjoyable or understands enjoyment. Like,
I'm gonna take it a step further. He just has a pissy attitude.
con-
Like, I
constant,
get not everyone is like the life of the party, but
but
mm-mm.
don't show up and drag down the mood. Yeah.
He has resting B face to like the next level. Like the male version of whatever that is.
And whenever your boundaries, so essentially his boundaries are that like he needs to take breaks without her commenting about him taking breaks. He needs to retreat without her saying, "Hey, why are you retreating?" He wants to do
Yeah,
whatever
don't
he
have a
wants,
problem with it.
right, and not have a problem with it. But it's like, this is it's supposed to be a relationship, so you cannot constantly retreat. Like, you have to interact with me, you have to face me. Some people are speculating, they're like, Brennan probably has a whole other girlfriend that, and he's just on here for some type of clout. Which, Married at First Sight, I don't know who needs to hear this, but Married at First Sight isn't giving you the clout that it used to give you back in the day. Honestly, Love is Blind, which comes back in February, even
Mm.
that's not giving people as much clout as it was like in the first season with a Lauren and a Cameron. So stop going on these shows for clout, because it's not going to happen. Like, people are just going to end up disliking you.
Yeah, and especially for someone to claim to be so obsessed with their image. Like,
The
yeah.
absolute
The thing I didn't care for with their meeting with Dr. Pepper uh was that he always tries to present like it's a we decided, we. No, it's you, own it. But I will say, Emily, in those moments, she doesn't really speak up either to say, no, that was what you wanted, and I'm giving you what you want.
Even in the diary cam or the confessional, she said, it was his idea and I'm just here to support it.
Then why not say that in front of the experts? I feel like in all the sessions that they've had with the experts, they're pointless because they're not able to see the full scope unless they go back and watch all the footage.
Mhm.
They're not able to see, and in real time, it's not edited, so I'm sure it would be a lot for them to watch. So you would have to tell them this is what's going on.
The most productive, I think, was the meeting with Dr. Pia, when Emily
Oh
was
yeah.
actually saying, and she was doing her facial expression, and she wasn't even saying them herself. Like, Dr. Pia had to kind of probe a little bit more, like, "Oh, you made this face, what does that mean?" And Brennan, I'm talking to her, you don't get to answer when I'm talking to her. Yeah, I I absolutely hated when Dr. Pepper was like, name five things that you like about the other person,
Hmm.
and Brennan barely named three. and it was all stuff that was like, it was like nonsense stuff. Oh, I think she's caring. She's awesome to hang with, even though I keep trying to get away from her and needing breaks. And we have fun. We haven't seen y'all have fun since the tequila shots in Mexico.
Mm-mm.
So,
No, and I hated when she quickly came back with her five, or
with
it seemed
five.
like it. And even Dr. Pepper was like, "Oh, I liked your answer, didn't like yours." In that whole sit down, I'm like, "Dr. Pepper, are you not able to read what's going on here? I'm no doctor, and I can see it."
She's a she's a doctor of I think sociology, but even more so, she's supposed to be, and I think she does, but who knows? Maybe they didn't show some stuff. But I hated that Emily was like, "Yeah, these always go this way," where I'm able to. Girl, you wouldn't have been able to get a peep out of me. Honestly, don't know what things I like about him right now. There's not much to like. He's not giving me anything. That would have been my answer. Since you want to fake name three things that don't even matter and that are lies.
I think she tries her best in those moments because she doesn't want to appear as though she's thrown in the towel completely.
Yeah, that's true. What got me though? So Dr. Pepper, when she was recommending the fishbowl activity, I said, Dr. Pepper, Brennan could barely answer the one question that you gave him. You think he's about to sit here and be responsive to a fishbowl of questions? Like, let's be very for real right now. A question activity is not the one for him because he doesn't want to, like, if he were a willing participant, the question activities would be great because they would help him to like that would help the conversations. He would be able to draw out some things, but
Hmm.
he's not responsive. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about the fishbowl activity? This was my favorite,
Well,
Emily. Go ahead. Sorry.
something that Emily said where I was just like, why? Because this would confuse the expert. She claimed that they have a strong emotional connection. And then he chimes in with, oh, we share values, we share this, we share that. It's a lot of mixed messaging in these sessions. Like, Emily, you pretending is not helping.
At all.
Mm.
Talk to
So,
the
yeah.
experts like you be talking to Lily.
Yeah. Then they claim, oh, we think the meeting went well.
Yo, you know what's funny? So this is the fishbowl activity now.
Yeah.
So he was pretty much getting at that he's exactly like his parents because he was like, they don't really want to change things, and that really sucks because I love to change things. And Emily was like, when Emily squint her eyes, I was tickled. I'm like, he said, yeah, I like to change. Oh, but I was not surprised that he doesn't have a good relationship with his sister. I think Brennan has an issue with women. Like
Yeah.
I don't think he likes women very much. Like, and when I say I don't think he likes women, like he's attracted to women, but I don't think he has like a deep sense of gratitude and appreciation for a woman that would allow him to have a very healthy, intimate relationship with one.
And I do wonder how his mom was treated in her marriage and just what he observed. Just because your parents are married for 40 plus years or whatever they said, that doesn't mean that it was a healthy dynamic. And so I wonder what that was.
And he has
Um,
said it's not a healthy dynamic. Remember in the
yeah.
beginning, he was like,
So he can identify it, but maybe not realize that he's maybe headed down the same path.
absolutely, that's his blind spot. So yeah, and the
Him
whole
kind of describing being estranged from his sister, like that's a big deal.
that made sense to me.
That's not something you just say and think that if I'm in a relationship with you, that we're not gonna circle back in heavy detail. Maybe not on camera, but I'd be like, oh, mental no, we need to I need more details. Why, how,
Mhm.
when, like what is the setup of all of this? Like I'm not saying that people can't be estranged from family members, but as a person I'm going to be married to, I would need to know fully why, because I feel like that's a big decision to make.
Hmm.
To walk away from a sibling, a parent, or whatever,
Yeah.
that would make me think like, okay, well, I could probably do less, and you may be willing to just walk away. So not to say that it can't happen and it be valid. It's just I would need to know a lot more information.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
in true Brennan fashion, he stops answering questions. And I loved Emily here. That I enjoyed Emily in the moment where she was saying, like, suck it up, like you can get through. We were in the hot tub for 4 hours the
Hmm.
other night. You're always in the hot tub. You will be okay. You can answer a few more questions.
Yeah, and to me, the questions, well, one, you should not be getting this agitated over questions that it seems. I don't know if both of y'all added the questions to the bowl or if Dr.
Mhm.
Pepper's provided the questions. But you should not be getting that agitated over a questions exercise that you knew you would have to talk. So that's number one. You shouldn't be that agitated. Number two, these questions to me, nothing was to the point of skipping. And if
Mhm.
anything, if you didn't want to reveal something on camera,
Mhm.
if you really were invested, you'd say, I don't know if I really want to share that on camera, but then
Yeah.
maybe think of another answer. So
Mhm.
there was a way for him to skirt around it without being so agitated and annoyed with her.
Yeah.
And then when he started like hitting his fist, I'm like, what?
Right? I would be scared. I would be
And
scared.
even when she was like, no, you'll be fine. You're not going to faint. Like, you're good. Nothing she said warranted the energy he was giving.
And
I'm
then
sorry. Mm.
even when they left the hot tub and went to the room, he was like, "Oh, I would expect her to be supportive and caring and nice." First of all, you don't deserve that. Not from Emily. I don't want to say not from anybody, maybe, but definitely not from Emily. And the way he was making it seem like because she wanted him to answer the question, she was an unsupportive wife, or she was a mean person, or she was a like that. Just really rubbed me the wrong way.
And the way he was like, oh, well, it's different because I was answering questions and that burns calories.
Girl, what? What? To think, thinking and shut up, Brendan. It's not taking. It does not
He's
take
looking
all
for any reason to be mean to her.
any.
And if I were her, I would not be sitting that close to him.
I wouldn't be
The
surprised.
way he was looking was
Yeah,
like he was on the verge of punching her in the face.
absolutely.
Mm-mm, no, nothing over questions.
Over questions.
And
Good grief. Good.
obviously, these two are not going to work out, but whomever he ends up with, you need to simmer down because there are going to be way more things, bigger things that trigger you in a marriage.
Uh,
And you cannot be sitting there like you're the schoolyard bully versus your spouse. Like
yeah,
what? You and
insanity.
you're worried about your image.
Right. I don't get it. Like, I don't know. Maybe it's like a cognitive dissonance. Something just isn't clicking with this man.
Lack of self-awareness, maybe? I don't.
It's like like he's overly aware, but then also he has a lack of awareness. And I don't know how that can even exist in the same person.
And
It,
I will say I was with him on the whole image thing like early on,
yeah.
if she was drinking a lot, like just kind of doing the most on camera, like I'm with that 100%. But at this point, it's giving controlling, it's giving manipulation, abusive. No, this overcorrection is, I can't say painting you in a bad light
Mhm.
because we see what we see on camera.
He is a
So,
bad light at this point. But that is all that we have on these two. Like I said, we have other videos, so please feel free to watch them.
all
And yeah, we'll see you guys on the next one.
right, bye.
Bye.